First of all, there's no Anakin gameplay in the background of this video because he's now 8,000 or 12,000 battle points, so I really just couldn't get him. But this is a video I actually planned to make before the news dropped about Anakin's battle point change, which is a temporary thing. I forgot to mention that yesterday, but it's temporary until next week when the new update launches. Or I should say patch, to be honest, the next update. We don't know anything about that yet, but focusing more on Anakin. Is it time to kill switch him? Back last year, Palpatine was removed from the game. He was completely kill switched and taken out of the game completely. His slot was just gone. Is it time to do the same with Anakin? Because what needs to be done with Anakin, I can guarantee the devs just aren't going to go through with this. The main selling point of Anakin in this game is the fact that he has 4 abilities. Yes, I know Boba has 4 abilities, but they're nothing in comparison to Anakin's 4 abilities. And that is the selling point of Anakin. However, Heroic Might and Retribution, one has to go. That's the only way this is ever going to work. Take a hero like Rey. Now, despite anything I've ever said about Rey, let's look at her as an actual hero. She works very well because she can be overpowered in the right hands, but she's also balanced to the extent where she doesn't completely tear apart lobbies, and by that I just mean exactly what Anakin does. This could be argued it's because she has a lower health rate that she gets back from a health on kill card, but then again, Luke has a higher health rate and he's not as good as Rey. I think with Rey overall her mechanics are just very nice in this game, and when it comes to Anakin at this point, no matter what they do to him, he's going to get worse. He's never going to feel like he was at the start. But the Passionate Strike and the Force Pull I don't feel are the issues anymore. Of course they're good abilities, but they're not the issues. It's Retribution or it's Heroic Might. I've discussed how I believe Heroic Might is basically 2 abilities in one, because not only does it let you inflict damage, but it also acts as a temporary personal shield. Retribution, admittedly yes, when you save up for this, when you manage to not die and you get enough for this to work, it's well worth the wait. But Anakin's already got that selling point ability for me in Heroic Might. I don't think he needs another. And if they don't get rid of Retribution, I'm going to say, some people might say they got to get rid of Heroic Might, but I'm going to say if they don't get rid of Retribution, then this problem is never going to be fixed, because there's always going to be a point in a game where you're doing maybe absolutely fine as a hero, or a villain on the opposing side should I say, and then all of a sudden you're being choked out of nowhere and there's nothing you can do. And Retribution is always going to mess up lobbies. You can up the battle point cost as much as you want, lower the damage of all his other abilities, but if you've got something in the game that's actually allowing him to not even provide the enemies any sort of defense, it just picks them up, chokes them, even if it doesn't take off all the damage like it used to, it still takes them pretty low, leaves them vulnerable for attacks. At this point it has to go, or Anakin needs to be kill switched. And I will say this, a few days before the patch next week, if they manage to actually balance Anakin to the extent that Rey is maybe balanced, without removing neither Heroic Might or preferably Retribution, then I applaud EA and DICE for that, because I just don't see another way this is ever going to work. If it even means getting rid of Retribution and buffing Heroic Might a bit to compensate for that, because you still want Anakin to feel like the best on the hero's side, but there's a way of doing that. Palpatine is clearly the best on the villain's side, well, at least in Galactic Assault, but he's not to the extent that Anakin is. Yes, he's overpowered, we all thought he was way too broken a year ago, but it's been shown that in reality, he is quite balanced in comparison to Anakin. But let me know what you think of this. Obviously, many talking points. I don't think this video is going to go down well with a lot of people. I know once upon a time I defended Anakin, but at this point, it's very difficult for me to play as the villains in Battlefront 2 without Anakin coming along and ruining it for me completely, really. But I'll see you all next time. I really want to know your thoughts on this one in the comments section.